Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. But whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean Floor Absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean. Clean.
Good evening, race fans, and welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the third round of the 2022 iRacing Short Course National Series, live from iRacing's virtual Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park in Chandler, Arizona. My name's Justin Prince. Alongside the booth tonight is Dave Arnold, the voice of off-road. Our producer for this evening is Ryan Bauer. Ryan is using cameras he created for this circuit. The cameras for the Pro 4 trucks being used this evening are provided by the fans and welcome to Podium Esports coverage of the third round of 2022 YouTube for tonight as we get ready for some tight confines racing tonight. A very short circuit, just 5 corners around this racetrack, Dave. And in turn, Justin Prince alongside the move tonight should provide some absolute wild action. Off-road. Our producer for this evening is Ryan Bauer.
One of my favorite tracks out there. It's a lot of tight, close quarter battles going on there. I mean, mostly left-hand turns. We do have one in right-hander, but it's the big leap, the big jumps that makes us so exciting.
So intriguing in terms of how some of these drivers are going to have to handle this facility. A lot of laps flying onto the board for this evening. Let's take a look at your goal report tonight. Should provide some absolutely around the facility. That is a grand total of just 0.6 of a mile, Dave.
Well, one of the great things about it is it's a very short track. It's very tight. Not a lot of places to put down, but you've got to push your way through sometimes. So get that shoehorn out there, get to the inside, and push it around. A little hard going on the outside, but you'll see that sometimes in the final turn, and that always makes it exciting. So if you got to get on that front straightaway, you can have that big left-hand turn, but you have a high-speed run all the way through. That is a European turn. Then the big ski jump comes. You leap off of that, and shoulders are hard right-hander. Now when you reach range around, you've got to do a giant big turn, which will bring that back around to the finish line.
Keep in mind, this racetrack is one of the short configuration to this facility since the late 2000s here in the state of Arizona. This facility itself has hosted racing since the 1980s. For a lot of people, they don't realize just how diverse the racing can be here, Dave. There's a drag strip, there's multiple different road course configurations, there's even an oval around this facility.
And on top of that, they got a giant lake, which is actually right behind the grandstands you're seeing, that they ran a lot of drag boat races there, which was always very interesting. We used to sit up in that tower, watch the racing. In between, you turn around, and you got a couple 100 horsepower drag boats screaming down, making some fast passes. And I know the Lucas Oil Drag Boat Series ran there for many years in conjunction with the Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series.
Now, for those tuning in for the first time, here is a look at how the format will fare out tonight, and there is an additional heat it should be worth noting compared to what's shown there, as that means 4 total heats for the drivers, a little bit smaller heat fields. Top 3 will advance in turn as a result from each of the heats. There are still 2 LCQs, just 4 laps the distance. Top 3 advance from those directly. But the main event tonight, 26 laps with a 30-minute cap on that, Dave. and there is a competition caution scheduled at the end of lap 12 because of the shorter racetrack distance.
Well, that is definitely going to be a long one for these drivers. Hopefully the fuel holds out for them with cautions. In real life, we used to run into that problem quite a bit. Cautions coming out multiple laps. You got to conserve your fuel, and I know they take that into effect also. Sometimes they want to go a little light during the qualifying, but you might have to go that full tank to make it around in the main event.
And keep in mind, as mentioned, third round of the campaign, and this is in the midst of a very busy schedule. You have Crandon Short just after this, as well as Wild West Motorsports Park over the next couple weeks. So some tight confines racing in turn, Dave, sets the trend towards the halfway point of the season to the middle of February.
Oh yeah, this is going to definitely set the tone for the rest of it going through here. But moving on to Crandon Short and then up to Reno and a Wild West Motorsports Park, at that point you better be up in the points, and it's going to be a long crawl if you don't.
Keep in mind, throughout those first couple rounds of the season, there was plenty of intense action at the Crandon's full circuit, as well as Bark River. Keep in mind, Keaton Swain, Connor Berry have been the two best drivers on the campaign so far, Dave, through those first two rounds. They have been dominant when it comes to their respective pates. After the first couple rounds in the points, it is worth mentioning there is a 2-point separation amongst them entering tonight. Here's the thing for Berry, though. Last evening, when it came to virtual action, he came away as the overall winner of the 2022 General Tire E-Short Course World Cup, fueled by Fistful of Bourbon.
That definitely was a great battle last night, and he's going to have his hands full tonight, though. Did a lot of racing last night. You got to see if it's affect him at all, but I think he might be in the groove. I know they spent some time here at the Wild Horse Pass. He might have a little bit of advantage, but I know all these drivers have been on there. Connor has always been fast at this track, but I'm not going to take anything away from Keaton Swain. He has been so quick, and he is really showing his speed.
Keep in mind as well, Mason Prater, third in the points tonight, 97 total points. Felix Roy has also been very quick with the Jim Bieber Esports Camp, rounding out the top four, 86 points in the season. All drivers have actually finished up their qualifying already, Dave, but in turn, it's going to be intriguing how these competitors play things out as a result tonight, because lots of talented drivers, lots of talent in turn who are familiar with each other, whether through the series, but also potentially for those who may have raced each other last night.
Well, yeah, it was a good point was brought up in last night's broadcast, and it was talking about qualifying. With the inversion, a lot of people are talking about sandbagging, if you're going to hold back on your qualifying, hoping to use that inversion. Well, I know my good friend Ralph said, you know what, don't leave anything on the table. Go for it, get up there, get the best qualifying position you can, and at least get that and try and get that extra point going into it.
And in turn, these drivers will have a couple minutes to try and gather themselves together and sort things on out. Who are some of those drivers in turn you feel are going to be the favorites outside of the Swains and the Berries of the world?
Well, Mason Prater definitely has an advantage. This is his backyard out there. Mason's grown up at this track. He spent a lot of practice time out there. Waiting to see a little bit also Zach Drapkin. He's got a lot of time in this track, whether it's been in the real life or also here in the virtual world. And, Titus Sherlock, he showed some speed, and wait for him to really get out there and make some things happen.
These drivers just have a few more moments before they get themselves rolling to start off tonight's action. About 60 seconds or so till they get on rolling. An intriguing series, intriguing start to the campaign. We like to take the time to remind you of the sponsors for this respective series and thank them for their support. CBR Performance Products, AIM Sports Data, Super Clean, Dirt Sports World, Signature Propellers, Positive Beverage, and Smith Graphics. All the support they have throughout this entire campaign. Well, that's part of the reason why the prize pool for this season is a substantial total of more than $1,000 total. That includes the least incident points throughout the season. Keep in mind the prize totals, the most fast laps, and whoever the most popular driver is. So it's going to be very critical to stay clean, especially for this first heat. It's time to take a look at your starting grid for Heat 1. On the pole, Connor Berry was very quick in qualifying and keeps up the momentum for the past couple weeks. He'll start alongside Darren Hardesty. Then it's Nicholas Dachelet who starts in row 2 alongside Crystal King. She's looking to try and bounce back after a rough event yesterday. James Burke starts in third tonight with Bryce Semino rounding out the top 6. Zach Knowles has looked pretty quick this campaign. He'll start alongside Andre Borison, who's been bounced around a lot. Luis Patino starts alongside Cameron McGeshik, with James Watson jumping into the machine in the 39 in row 6. Sean Brightsman, again, no more so for his commentating as well as for his racing on the ovals. Races with Blank rounding out the drivers on the grid tonight. An interesting grid for heat number 1, and in turn, it's a very hot one because, well, it's Arizona. It's supposed to be hot, as shown with our Martin Sports weather conditions.
Well, you know, one of the things they say, it's a dry heat.
Especially since there's only about a 4 per number degree difference between the track temp and the air temp for tonight. The last of the drivers getting themselves ready for heat 1. Your keys to having a successful heat to make sure you move on in this one.
Well, definitely is finishing this race. That's one thing for sure. The start is everything. Getting that position out there and qualifying, you know, only a couple are going to qualify out of each round. So we got to get this out front, get up to turn number 2, and establish your position.
Once again, here's a look from Connor Berry. Ever Much continues to shuffle around his camera views. This time it's the viewpoint of strictly his monitor, as he'll be leading the group from left side of the track into the start for tonight's action. We're happy to have you with us, whether you're watching along on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube this evening. The iRacing pace car tries to keep itself on the racetrack for the final couple jumps. We'll see if that car can make its way to the pit lane without any troubles, but it should be an exciting one, Dave.
Definitely. Wild Horse Pass never disappoints. One of my favorite tracks out there because it's so tight. Such close battles that go on through here. And we're going to see it going here as they come around. And it's green, green, green.
And we're underway for heat number 1 of round 3 for the iRacing Short Course National Series. One truck already in trouble in the back of the grouping. For Connor Berry, though, a strong launch, leading the group to the quick first couple corners. Already trying to pull away from a spin behind.
And a lot of contact going out of turn number 2. Car's on its side there. Berry able to make it through clean with Hardesty in tow. And drivers just flipping off that ski jump. So going to be a tough one for those drivers. But you can see these two have already pulled away from the rest of the pack.
An intriguing beginning to this one as here is Dachalet trying to keep in front with the jumps right now. Curley scored in 3rd position. That's even with some of the contact before. But some of the other drivers trying to close on in. Lou Patino and company. You also have Crystal King looking to close on up. Viewpoint now from Zach Knowles. Already up 1 spot, looking for 2.
Yeah, Zach was able to avoid some of that contact there. But you can see one of the big things there is getting down low here coming in turn number 3. And as a car goes rolling right in front of him.
It's been some intriguing battles as Kane is upside down. Sean Brightsman waves bye-bye. Let's take a look at the Podium Esports replay as Kane, a little bit of an oopsie. Reference to our Twitch channel.
And a beautiful low line there, but somewhere it gets out of shape coming over, a little bit of contact. And it looks like that's where, yeah, there it is, a little contact. Nothing like a little help from your friends.
The action keeps on going, though, already approaching halfway. That's how quick these heats are expected to go tonight. Here's the look from Hardesty, who's keeping within range this time of Connor Berry. Usually in these heats, we've seen drivers like Berry able to pull away from the get-go. Not so much here. Hardesty keeping Berry in check.
Now, one thing you want to notice, coming out of turn number 1, you can see these drivers going high. Well, that translates in real life. Big time on the outside, being fast is the key. I've seen a few drivers change positions going low, but it seems like the fast line hitting high and hitting that little bump.
I was going to say some of them actually riding up towards that wall with how they're starting to spar out here. Berry has led every single lap so far in this heat. Already starting off 3 laps to go now. Watch that run for the wall this time. You see right there that kick you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the fast lines that comes out there. Unfortunately, when you get down too low with that bull turn, you tend to shave a little too much speed out there. See these guys keeping their momentum up on the outside line.
Coming up towards the final couple corners as we get ready for the white flag this time around. Hardesty still stays within range. Very comfortable spot. Keep in mind, Achille is pulled away from Zimino to hold on to the third position. The factory SimSport machines. Here's the look of that chassis coming up to the white flag and how hard that's bumping in the corners.
And you definitely see that front drive shaft hanging off those CVs there on these Pro 4 units there. Close to 18 inches of travel that they're going through. And you can see that suspension work. You can see Zach Knowles there once again sliding around, he's moved his way up to 5th, really hasn't creeped up anymore. You know, he started back in that, I think, 7th position. He's made up 2 spots and avoiding all the contact out there. That was the key.
For Connor Berry, he'll get to celebrate. There's the fist pump. Connor Berry takes heat victory number 1 of the night. Hardesty in 2nd. Play also moves on. Zimino, the first driver out after some intriguing battling right from the get-go. Entertaining start to this one as we take a look at the results. Knowles, Burke, Patino, Borison, Watson, Blank also have to go to the LCQs for this one this evening. That's a look once more, top 10 in this respective heat as we are ready to get things going. Brightsman, Kane, as well as Mageshik did not take the checker. Then, for Heat 2, it's Felix Roy, who's been very quick. He was one of the top drivers in practice for a good portion of the session before Prater. One other driver jumped up on top. He'll start alongside Prater, in fact. Trenton Burley starts in row 2. Then it's Sanders alongside. Kirchmeier starts alongside Cody Retzlaff, who is the cousin of Parker Retzlaff, who is ready for a NASCAR Xfinity Series run this year. Chris Newer starts in row 4 alongside Brandon Furman, with Nathan Metaxen in row 5 alongside Lon Franks, who's been very speedy the past few weeks. Bill Lester starts row 6 alongside Jordan Sims. And last of the drivers is Jeffrey Keeble. Who are your ones to watch here for this one, Dave, as we get ready to stack up another grouping of trucks, 13?
I mean, definitely, I got to go with Prater's. Definitely always very fast out there for sure. But Felix Roy, he's been showing some quick speed. I think he's going to be giving a little bit of problems to Mason Prater out there. And Trenton Briley, he's always quick.
Briley indeed, you see, trying to keep himself composed here. Very interesting look for tonight. You can see the snarl with that face tonight.
Prater had a little bit of frustrating week last week, but he's looking for redemption, and I think this is going to be his redemption song right here.
We're underway for Heat 2 once more here from Wild Horse. Off to some great starts as Roy nearly kicks up along the wall to start. Already a big buffer, though, for that class for the Heat lead. Battle arm from second spot, though, is Prater. They pull away from the rest of the pack that stays side by side.
And you can see the key right there is getting down that middle line and cutting down. And Prater's right on it, hitting all of his marks. But Roy, he's right there too. He's going to have to find a fast way around him because Roy is looking really quick.
Roy having a lot of pressure now from Prater, meanwhile. Prater trying to peek to the inside. Roy able to hold on in front, though, as they battle for the bubble spot in the backdrop. There's that battle you see right here. Side by side, Briley and Sanders trying to battle hard. That's Sanders now to the left side. Right side, Briley. You also have Cody Retzlaff joining the party. He bounces off the 4th place truck. Move Retzlaff up a spot.
Retzlaff with a great maneuver there for sure, but Briley, kind of blocked that apex of the turn, and that's what you want to do. You really got to guard the inside on this track. That is the key.
So most of the drivers starting to single file out already. Jordan Sims has had to pull into the pit lane due to troubles. The rest of the field is still rolling, though. Roy, Prater, Briley, Retzlaff, the current top 4. Side by side, still up for the front, though. Prater is not letting off for this heat race lead coming to the halfway mark. He's continued to try and dive inside, outside, several times over. Here's a look with Prater on board.
Yeah, he's running his good buddy Ethan Ebert's shirt there. Kind of sporting his buddies out there. That's pretty cool, Mason Prater. But Mason trying to keep that inside line. You can see he's trying to look low, hits the wall ride, hits the bump off of that. And you can see now he's going to try and get to the inside and try it first. But Roy, just so quick, took that middle preferred line.
Still keeping things pressure-filled. As you see in the backdrop, there has been a buffer now built up by Briley. by about nearly a full second over Retzlaff. Sliding on through, 2 laps to go. Prater gets a bit of a run this time. Can't get the full run to get side by side down the straightaway. Their way through the jumps this time as they make their way towards the flat turn. Prater now kicks up on the right side against the wall as they make their way towards the big full turn.
And Prater looking a little low again too, but I'll tell you, Roy has that line down. He is in the perfect position every time. Watch this setup though. Prater's going to try to go to the inside here, and there he goes. Push it, but Roy will have the inside line going in this final turn. Let's see if Mason Prater can go high. Oh, a nice maneuver outside in. He's going for it. The white flag is out.
Final lap for Heat 2. Will Prater be able to make the move, or will Roy be able to hold on for Jim Beaver Esports? Roy now has a big buffer, in fact, for the Heat race lead. He pulls away by 3 truck lengths. Can Roy execute for a couple more corners?
Well, you can see he's set up there low. Oh, Prater carries a little too much speed. Almost blows that turn there. I don't think it's going to happen for him this one, but he's going to be definitely in that sweet qualifying position.
Coming out the final corner, Felix Roy takes the jump, takes the checkered. He wins Heat 2. Second spot goes to Prater. Riley rounds out the top 3. Retzlaff, the first driver out, however. Distance about 1 second back. Noah Sanders, Kirchmeier, on with Franks, Furman, Lester, and Matoxen will round out the top 10. Difference between the top 10 about 15 plus seconds. The rest of the drivers you see now on screen. With that, the drivers are already making their way to the third heat. Keaton Swain will start on the front row for this one. Ethan Ebert starts on the outside. Then it's John Fisher and Tyson Miller in row 2. Tom Grady will start alongside Chase Carr tonight in the third row. Fourth row, that's Levi Metzinger, who starts alongside Ryan Lindner. Then it is Ashton Perfect, looking to stay with the namesake tonight. Rory Folsom in the 66. Shane Paul trying to get some points up on the board after an incident-filled first race of the season, while Brock Smith rounds out the 6th row on the track. And it's Ramsey rounding out the 7 total rows in this field. So Swain's in this heat. Who else are you keeping an eye on, Dave?
Ooh, Ethan Ebert, definitely. I mean, he's going to be, he's always quick out there. Like to see some stuff out of Ashton Perfect, though. He's, sometimes he has some flashes of greatness out there. But definitely keep an eye on Ethan Ebert. There's Ashton up there right now.
A very dark room, in fact, with that onboard look. We get ourselves all set to go. The iRacing pace car zip its way to the safety of the non-jumpy portion of the track, while Ebert has the goggles on. Will we go full send into the corner? We'll see as the green flag waits up in the stand. We're underway for the third heat.
Green, green, green. Gotta love it. Here we go in the first turn here. A lot of low lines there. You can see, unfortunately, guys getting on the bicycle there. Swain able to stay up high, keep that lead out front. Ebert and Fisher in tow, and they're going to come on time. This is where they always bunch up into turn 2 and kind of separate and then reback. It's like the old accordion.
An intriguing start to this one as Ebert tries to pull off and away in that battle for second spot. Still side by side with the backdrop for third position. Make it for fourth. Near bumping, and one driver flipped over. Nearly over the wall and over the billboards they go.
Yeah, it looked like that was the number 90 at Miller that got caught up in it. A little bit of damage. Take another look at it here.
He's also one of the streamers in the field. An intriguing situation here in the battle going on for position. This was just around that bubble spot, was already hit one time through turn 4, and then comes the send. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you can see a lot of side bite there, right on the pace car.
Just when you thought the pace car was safe, it finds its way into danger.
Poor Gary Lanes.
Meanwhile, for Ethan Ebert, you see the goggles in full effect tonight, trying to go the full immersion route tonight, Dave.
Yeah, he's worried about that virtual dust hitting him in the face, going to keep those peepers clear.
Trying to build up a buffer, keep in mind. for that top 3 grouping at the moment on the racetrack. Here's a look at Grady, who is in 4th. Was the truck who got into the side of that other machine. John Fisher is currently in that 3rd position for reference sake. It's not all said and done yet. Keep in mind, here's a look at Perfect, looking to try and continue its progression forward, up 3 spots, and now has been bumped out of the way by Shane Paul.
Shane is so looking for redemption after that last round. Or say the last couple rounds.
Yes. Bit more hits though, and Perfect nearly spun around off the corner as well. That was by Brock Smith. And a very rough couple of corners now for Perfect all of a sudden, who has a bit of a classic look tonight, trying to dress up as a Ford F-150 Raptor. Here's a look up towards some of these other drivers battling. This now is involving Ryan Lindner, who's trying to settle things down to the 230.
And you can see the lines that they're starting to develop there. You can see the fast line when they come up, hit that wall on the outside, and you can see the gap happens if you don't hit it.
Coming up to the white flag this time of note, 2 drivers nearly sent themselves into some advertising boards. Ashton Perfect again. Keaton Swain, meanwhile, he's looking perfect himself right now. White flag is out, final lap of this respective heat. As now it's just about closing it out. Ebert's keeping up. John Fisher currently rounds out the top 3.
Well, I'm not surprised with, of course, Keaton Swain. He's been fast all season so far. He's keeping with that mark for sure.
This has been the trend throughout the season to the final corner this time. Ashton Perfect again has gotten into another incident involving Folsom hearing on the radio, but Keaton Swain is not focused on that. He's focused on the checkered. He wins Heat 3. Ebert and Fisher will jump into the feature directly with them. Tom Grady, the first driver out. This time the 5:35 with Chase Carr in 5th. Shane Paul lost several seconds on the final lap, finishes in 6th. Lindner 7th. Then it's Smith, Perfect, Metzinger, the top 10 on the racetrack. 13.5 seconds separation. Roy Folsom just said he got beaten up. He just actually jumped over a portion of the corners after the checkered. Miller and Ramsey also did not advance. Now, one final heat. Remember, there's an extra heat for this round today. Grabkin, who starts in the pole. Heitritter had some good speed in last night's festivities. He's also looking to keep up good speed from last time out before technical issues. Christopher Plumley, his purple machine, starts in 3rd. Anthony Gaudio starts in 4th. And it's Minder, who starts in 5th, with Brian Clement in the 6th spot this evening. Kyle Cooper starts in 7th, with Hunter Carpenter in 8th spot. Scott Posey and Dennis Crosby, the top 10. Sawyer Tinker starts alongside Christopher McCorkle. Rounding up the field is Darrell Wool. That's a look top to bottom at the running order for this one. One final heat. And it sounds like some are pumped up, some are bumping and banging already. Their keys, or who you watch, should say, for this one, Dave.
Well, I mean, Heiritter's, he had some issues last time. He's always fast out there for sure. But Drapkin, he's in that pole position. If he can get a hold, get that start, get out front, it could be his tonight.
There's a look at Drapkin, and again, the team shirt is on for that 56 machine. More bumping and banging still as they get ready for the green flag. The final heat race of the night. Again, top 3 advance. The rest have to go to the LCQ. Drapkin underway. We're underway for Heat 4. Heitritter with a decent launch as well, with a different look tonight. He tries to keep away from the Hornet's Nest. Side by side, 3 wide nearly. In fact, for the 3rd position, they get single filed out.
And let's see when they bunch up here. There, beautiful line by Drapkin. Heitritter trying to get a little bit lower, scrubbed off that speed. That's one of the problems when you dive deep. You scrub the speed, you get a lot of side bite. Sometimes you can bicycle, sometimes you can flip it. A little bit of contact there, and it kind of pushes you over. So that's smart that he's trying to stay away from Drapkin right now.
Black flag for Scott Posey, by the way, after contact with Hunter Carpenter. Meanwhile, they battle for the heat race lead. Heitritter now looking for the run, already showing the nose to the inside. I'm going to dive it underneath fully. Meanwhile, for the battle for the bubble spot on the other side of the billboards, Plumley is on the hunt. Plumley is trying to get himself around for 3rd, And Plumlee is devoted. He started in third. He's looking for it back.
Yeah, Plumlee's been quick all season, too. I mean, 2 rounds. I mean, we've seen him been up there. He always does well at this track. I've seen him in a couple of last year's season, and he did really well. You see him right now out front there in front of Minder. Minder in the 415 right behind him. And you can see some of these guys not taking full advantage of the whole turn 1. You want to use that, slide it up top, and you can see you just get gapped real quick.
Posey has come in to serve the black, but for the heat race lead, they battle. One flip on behind them, the 440 upside down 3 times over. That was with contact with Plumlee. Drapkin tries to run away from Heitritter meanwhile for the halfway mark, but there's a new driver in third behind him. It's Plumlee.
Yeah, I'm not surprised the way Plumlee's been running there. You can see him dive low. Oh, a little bit of contact back there. You guys jockeying for position. I think it's just driving frustrated, personally.
The Ford 40 was the one who just got flipped over, and nearly gets spun over. One car does spin, and Brian Clement. Clement is fully around in the corner, and by the way, some of them work together as Minder gets hit this time.
Well, there's not a lot of places to pass. Sometimes you got, like I said, you got to pull the shear horn out. You got to get the boot out. You got to force your way to the inside. As long as you do a door-to-door contact, it's all good. You're gonna, unfortunately, if you spin somebody, you're gonna get penalized, and we saw that already happen earlier.
Lap and a half to go in the final heat race of the night. Keep an eye on that 415. Remember, Minder got bounced around a lot, Dave, in the last round. Will he be able to bump his way on forward? Zane with the chance to try and battle with Plumlee coming to the white. They'll pass by some of the traffic now on the right side of the racetrack. That is some of them trying to figure out how to get out of the pit lane in Posey. They're also side by side for the heat race lead.
And a great shot there as Minder's looking for that qualifying position there back up front. Heitritter still working on Drapkin.
They're pushing and shoving still. Drapkin, Heitritter, side by side. They're also nearly side by side for third. Who will get the heat race victory? Who will get the third spot? Checker flag. Drapkin holds on. He wins heat number 4. Heitritter in second. Side by side for third. Who gets out of the stripe in the drag race? It is Plumlee. Plumlee by about 12 one-thousandths of a second.
Just incredible there. Man, I'll tell you what, I have seen so many photo finishes at this track.
Look at that finish in differential.
Oh, my goodness.
The 440 just outside that battle, 5 seconds back overall. Cooper, Crosby, Carpenter, Clement, Tinker rounded out the top 10. The rest of the drivers old 18 seconds back. DNFs for McCorkle and Posey of note. Posey got lost trying to get out of the infield. Now it's time to look at the first LCQ grid. Semino starts alongside Grady in this one. Zach Knowles starts in third. Chase Carr in fourth position, while James Berg played a bunch of music during the driver's meeting. Used that music for motivation, possibly, from the third row with Shane Paul. Luis Patino starts in 7th. Brian Linder rounds out the 8th position. Morrison starts in 9th with Brock Smith quietly tonight in 10th position. James Watson's in 11th position with his very colorful car, while Ashton Perfect had a very opposite to his name run in the last heats for him. He starts 12th. Blank and Metzinger 13th, 14th. Brightsman starts in 15th alongside Roy Folsom, who looks to try and bring the Evil Hours racing machine cleanly. Crystal King was flipped upside down and sat on the top of her roof. Oopsie tries to start from 17th alongside Tyson Miller. The rest of the grid, Agashik and Ramsey round up the 20 drivers in this first LCQ. And remember, there's not a lot of time to work with. 4 laps, top 3 advance. If you want a shot, better send it, Dave.
Oh, absolutely. I know some of these drivers looking do a little bit better, but once you, like I said, you get deep in this field, it gets tough. You got to have to hope for a little carnage out front from these guys. Semino, he's going to be having a rough time with a lot of drivers coming for him. This could get real physical. LCQs are known for that. Knowles, looking for him to do so well. I'd like to see Chase Carr do well.
Of course, we've talked already about some of the struggles for Paul this season. They have a bit of a lengthier grid here to be able to gather themselves up. They'll be given a few minutes, in fact, about 2 total minutes for them to get themselves in the trucks for this one. And somehow one truck has managed to get offline in Metzinger. The rest of the field seems to be all set to go here.
Yeah, very interesting position.
Was about to say, Dave, 20 trucks, most that we've had tonight.
Yeah, this is going to be this is me carnage. That's all. I'm predicting carnage on this one. Turn 2, if they could all get there, it's going to be a bash fest. Again, get out front, get a clean run. Going to be the key in the LCQ. Get away from the carnage.
Keep in mind, before tonight's action, Ashton Perfect had said in the YouTube comments of the iRacing Short Course YouTube page's broadcast feed, "I am ready to win." He's got a smile on his face. He knows he's on camera, I think, now too. Will he be able to live up to those words? He's from the back of this field.
I know for sure, Ashton, he's got experience racing. You know, he's got a desert championship under his belt now, and, you know, he's got some experience in the karts in real life, but he's been putting a lot of time in these in his sim. Hopefully, he's going to stay away from people tonight, because he seemed to be a magnet for problems in that last race.
Here are the drivers bumping into each other, trying to sort things out behind the iRacing pace car. Again, Justin Prince, Dave Arnold with you for tonight's coverage. I'm out in the producer seat for tonight. Thank the rest of our crew with us tonight. Taylor Burr is in the spotter stand. You have Nicholas Witherby along with Cameron Operon on social medias this evening. And of course, Dougie Beard for the camera pack for the trucks. I'm Bauer, the track side. With that, the drivers seem to be all set to go. They are warning each other about racing around each other in this LCQ. Take that how you will. They're now bumping in the corner as they get ready for the green flag. As the pace car runs away, it is Simino who looks to pull away. Green flag is out. We're underway for LCQ 1. Grady with a good launch on the outside to try and get clear of Knowles. Side by side for third as they bump and slam each other into the corner.
Semino got on that loud pedal real good coming out of there. You can saw everybody trying to die to the inside. But this is what I talk about. Turn 2. There's the carnage.
And someone's getting carried across the track. Shane Paul, yet again, has been carried 2 full corners upside down. And he's been hit again.
Well, let's take a look at this again and see what happens there. You know, have a little contact right out of the boot coming out of turn number 1. But turn 2, it just gets dicey, especially on the first lap there. And too much speed carried into the turn. And this is where everybody gets carried over.
This is like a mosh pit.
Yes.
And then he runs into somebody and then gets hit again. And now someone's blown up in live action. Patino has managed to blow up his truck in the 37.
Definitely a tough track on these vehicles for sure, as well as the drivers. Very physical out there. A lot of speed. It's high speed for sure. But not a lot of places to pass when you're in the fast line. And very, very smart move there. He should have held it on a little bit longer. Got on the binders a little bit too quick. Zach Knowles fighting it back there.
Halfway already through this LCQ as Knowles is upside down. And he puts it upright. And he loops it back around as several pass on by. As he waits for oncoming traffic. Kane is also crashing the backdrop of Burke and Company. So now it gets interesting. James Burke is on the bubble.
Grady able to take advantage of the situations, but Semino and Burke back there, and then Linder. Oh boy, look at this. Semino having a little bit of I think a little bit of bash fest going on between those two.
And guess who's in the popcorn seat already, coming to the checker. That's how quick this LCQ has gone. Tom Grady ran away by more than 3 seconds to take this win. Semino and Burke do survive to finish second and third, though Semino had to get doored on the side of a window net. Hold on to that spot. Ashton Perfect, the first one out. Folsom, Lindner, on with Borison, the top 7. Then Blank, Watson, Miller, the top 10. Zach Knowles recovered for being on his side to finish 11th. Shane Paul recovered from being fully upside down to finish in 12th. Metzinger, McGeshik, Carr, Breitzman, Smith, Kane, Patino, Ramsey, the rest of the field. As we look at that, 3 did not finish. The drivers are now getting themselves gathered up for the second LCQ. They'll have a few minutes to do so as Cody Retzlaff is on the pole for this one. With Minder, he, remember, was 12 1,000ths of a second shy of already being in the feature. Sanders got to round out the top 4 with Franks and Cooper in the top 6. Berman and Crosby start on behind them in row 4. Lester and Carpenter are in row 5 with Metaxen and Clement inside the top 12. Chris Miller, Sawyer, Tinker start 13th, 14th. Then it's Keeble and Wold in row 8. Garchmeyer and McCorkle look to snorkel their way up to the front. Sims and Posey round out the drivers. Here is how this one goes here, Dave. Last LCQ of the night. 3 more spots on the line for the feature. 26 laps of action there. This would get wild and then some. We've seen how crazy it got last time.
Well, it was definitely crazy, but I think that was the first race we've had so far that the whole shot that took the win did not take the win after the whole shot. So it's going to be very curious to see this LCQ. And I think this one's going to be a little bit more physical for sure.
Even more physical than a truck getting mosh pit all the way from turn 2 to turn 3.
Yeah.
Look at the lake,
see the lake right behind there that I talked about earlier in the broadcast.
A very beautiful and picturesque racetrack, and was doing a bit of checking up in terms of how this facility functions in some of the events. Lots of racing action has taken place here. You have events like Nitro Circus that have come here in the past. You have drag racing, as we talked about. We've seen a lot of racing with these trucks here in the past all the way till about 2020. There's a lot that takes place here, as mentioned.
Oh yeah, NASA series runs there also on the road tracks there. But the Great American Short Course Series will be, their opening round will be this year at Wild Horse Pass. So very excited about that.
I can't wait to see how these drivers fare in the real world, because keep in mind, some of the drivers in this field do race in the real world and are some of the top drivers in the sport.
And absolutely, and I'm a little confused of why they're in the LCQ, but seeing how much talent we have through all these heat races and the LCQ, now it kind of makes sense. Any one of these drivers, you get up there in the first couple rows, you have a great chance. And we talked about qualifying. Well, qualifying was key for a lot of these drivers in the early heat races.
So some of the drivers are getting things sorted out before we get things rolling. Under 2 minutes until the end of the grid hole where they can get rolling here. I'd like to also give the shout out to the camera pack development for this racetrack. Gary Sexton also had a hand in that. Thank him for his assistance in this event tonight and for this specific racetrack. The drivers have been given the go-ahead and the thumbs up to roll. Once again, your popcorn out for 20 trucks to see which 3 move on as Minder decides to give the pace car a hello, and Parker Retzlaff, I believe, has a technical issue. And Cody Retzlaff should say. You can see where the Retzlaffs come in. Both are top-notch sim racers, keep in mind. Parker on the NASCAR side, Cody on the dirt side.
Well, Minder's definitely sitting in the sweet spot right now, right behind the pace truck. Let's see what's going to happen. I usually think the outside line on the start usually has the best advantage. It's all about getting that, throttle reaction time is, I think, the key.
Minder has already indicated he will give space to Retzlaff just in case. Cody Retzlaff is actually giving double the space in turn. It nearly gets turned, in fact, by Noah Sanders. The iRacing pace car is off either way. Looks like the drivers have sorted things out. Everyone trying to jump each other into the storm, but it's Ritzlaf on the low pedal. Green flag. We're underway as one truck jumps on another. Minder able to shrug it off. Instead, he gets turned by Sanders nearly. Sanders in turn nearly gets turned as well by Lon Franks as Franks jumps up.
Beautiful move by Cody Ratzlaff there. You saw he knew he had to be on that outside line from the get-go. A little contact, or I should say a lot of contact into turn 2. What did I tell you? The mosh pit is open.
And one truck did get flipped over in the backdrop. They are all straightened back out, though one more truck having a bit of bumping and banging. That is Kyle Cooper. Here's Lon Franks, meanwhile, who is still in the 4th spot. This is now the battle for the bubble spot. They've seen the top 2 pull away by a full second. Can Sanders hold on for 3 more laps as Franks looks to make an error feature?
Franks, you can see that was in full send mode coming around that turn there. Trying to work the outside, coming around. You know, it's great to get out there. If you can shoot, get wide to get that inside line right there. That's the key. Get down low and push your teammate, or I should say the guy next to you, up high out of the line.
One truck upside down. Hunter Carpenter has flipped over a second, has gone hard into the side of another truck to flip over as well. 2 trucks have flipped over into the advertising boards. Let's take a look at the craziness.
We're gonna see how this one all unfolded.
And you already have one missing the course in the first place.
Yep.
But watch right here. Turn 5.
He got out of shape, and I think a little bit too much side bite there. They just did that all by themselves. Didn't see any contact on that one.
Carpenter off the circuit. I believe that's Gaudio Amonsto's also flipping about. And now the white flag is already out in this LCQ. Retzlaff and Minder have settled things on out. 16 trucks to decide the final 3 spots. Sanders has pulled away. And now it gets interesting because Retzlaff has another technical issue. Will Retzlaff get the spot? Will Minder be able to know where he's at here? Checker flag. Who will end up getting the spots now from this? 5th place is towed and Furman, but it's Minder taking the checkered. What happens to Retzlaff here? What's going to happen? It is saying Minder will get the spot. Minder, Sanders, and Franks are in. And now this could get very interesting how this all gets discussed here, Dave. Wow. Bad luck for Retzlaff.
Definitely wasn't expecting that one there. Retzlaff right there. Only 2 turns to go. Disappears. Where did he go? Not even on the board there. Must got totally disconnected. I thought it might have been a quick net code.
And I think the sim's also trying to calculate this as well. Again, here's what's showing on screen now. Minder, Sanders, Franks, Lester, Crosby, the top 5. Wold, Cooper, Clement, Metaxen, Posey, the top 10 at the moment. And then, absolute craziness from there on out. One driver did, however, miss that start, keep in mind, and that was Jordan Sims. Carpenter finished 11th despite flipping out of the park. Kirchmeier and Retzlaff is now out 1 lap down. Furman, McCorkle, Keeble, Newer, Tinker, Gaudio, all are out of the show. With that, quick break. You're watching Podium Esports for coverage of the iRacing Short Course National Series, Wild Horse Pass. It's been wild. Let's watch some more wildness after this.
Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean.
Welcome back to Podium Esports coverage of short course action here on iRacing, and what has been an adventurous one here at Wild Horse Pass tonight. Prince Dave Arnold with you in the broadcast booth as we are getting all set to go for feature racing after a lot of bumping, banging, slamming. Intense action, let's put it that way, to start off this evening. And now, see how 26 laps of feature racing in a few minutes' time fare on out.
Well, one of the things we talked about, that mosh pit there, man, I'll tell you, turn 1 and turn 2 are going to be interesting. And of course, 26 lap, a lot of laps, a lot of things can go wrong.
Who were some of the drivers who impressed you the most, I should say, here tonight, Dave?
Well, I mean, obviously Connor Berry right out of the boot, but one thing for sure, Prater looking for redemption out there for sure. Hardesty, he was right on them. Of course, Connor Berry there the entire lap. So if I got to see what the invert's going to be on this one. That's going to be curious. I think that's going to set tone. Whoever the top 4 drivers on that line, they're going to have the best chance when it comes to the first turn. Turn 2, that's where it could be interesting. Who's going to get on the binders the quickest? Who's going to get low? Who's going to hold the line?
So the drivers are getting themselves sorted out for the final minute of warm-ups for reference sakes, by the way, to get themselves ready to go for tonight's action. Again, for those just tuning in, to remind folks, there is a competition caution end of lap 12. Here's the main difference compared to other rounds, though. It will be an iRacing in-sim caution, meaning the pace car will come out. Previous competition cautions at the bigger tracks this season have been manual race control cautions where the field brings itself too slow. It will restart essentially towards the final corners of this racetrack out of the competition caution flag. So it's going to get interesting how it all plays out for our drivers in just the next few moments or so. Final thoughts and keys to victory for tonight.
Well, I mean, get out front, get the lead. I mean, it's going to be the biggest key. But the restart, the race right after that is going to be interesting. You got to get out, jump. You can't be sleeping on the throttle.
So the drivers are getting all settled on together, it seems, here for this one. It's going to be a fun one. Let's put it that way with how things could play out for this feature race. How things are playing out here. 18 drivers have gotten themselves into the show. Drivers are already being told to put in fuel because Connor Berry will be the one driving full fuel, full charge to the corner. Felix Roy starts alongside him tonight with Keaton Swain in third. Dropkin rounds out the heat race winners in the top 4. Jaron Hardesty kept Connor Berry cozy up at the front of the field in Heat 1. He'll start alongside Mason Prater to round out the top 6. Ethan Ebert try and use those goggles for tonight to try and find a way up to the podium, with Height Ritter looking to rebound after technical issues last round after having good speed. Cachalet starts in 9th position, with Riley in the 10th spot this evening, the 17th. John Fisher rounds out the top 11 along with Christopher Plumley in 12th, while Tom Grady starts 13th position, pulling away by several seconds in the LCQ. Minder, meanwhile, after technical issues for Cody Retzlaff, finished 14th. 7-0 Sanders start 15th and 16th. James Burke starts in 17th in a Legion machine. And rounding up the 18 drivers will be Lon Franks. That's look top to bottom at the running order for this respective run. The pack. Looking at the conditions once again, the dry heat continues. 97 track temp Fahrenheit, 96 degrees air temp, according to the Martin Sports weather conditions. It's clear skies, although there are some clouds in the skybox. Technically, it is somewhat cloudy, the backdrop. Gonna be intriguing how this plays out. You have drivers looking to have some throwing moments. You have drivers looking to rebound from some rough starts to the season. You've got drivers deciding to cover the whole trucks in their team logo because apparently others said they couldn't. Get your seatbelts out. Get your popcorn out. It's going to be wild, Dave.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I always say put your seat trays and your seats in the upright position because we're going racing.
The last
You know,
of
it's
the
kind of
drive.
funny.
Yeah.
I was just, sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, Dave, last of the instructions just came on in. What is so funny, though?
Well, I mean, a lot of these drivers, you know, they're probably glad because when you talk about 97 degrees, you're in a race truck with heat, you're in a race suit, it could be up to 120 degrees inside those trucks, if not a little bit warmer. They lose a lot of, you know, moisture, a lot of weight that way. So seeing it in a virtual situation, I'm sure these drivers are pretty happy right now.
And they're also being told, keep in mind, in turn with tonight, make sure they have fun, Dave, and that's the critical thing.
Well, that's what racing is. I mean, no matter what you're doing, if you're racing, it's fun. If you're not having fun, get out.
So the driver's just about all set to go. Connor Berry in control of the field. Felix Roy for Jim B. Esports starts alongside. Brampkin on top, the top four. iRacing pace car is off. Round 3 feature time. Now for the iRacing Short Course National Series. The green flag is out. We're underway from Wild Horse Pass. And a good start for Berry, but a bumpy start for second. Swain gets turned around in front of the field. Swain sends the infield nearly by Hardesty. He keeps it off the walls. Up to third now is Drampkin as they go side by side for 4.
Great run behind Berry. Drampkin trying to tuck right behind. And this is where a lot of it's going. We've got 3 wide going through these turns. You kind of, if you're on that inside, you lean on those outside cars to help you get around and keep your momentum up.
Tempers are already flaring up in that battle up the road for third position after some bumping between Drampkin and Heitritter. They now settle back single file. The track already starting to get a little bit tricky in terms of the racing groove, seeing a lot of the drivers needing to essentially bully the others off the preferred line. Here's some bullying here as Drampkin pulls away from the bullying on behind. Watches Prater tries to battle with Heitritter.
You see Drampkin look at that lower line on Roy as they come around here into turn number 4, the big sweeper coming around. This one could really be your friend at the end. I've seen a lot of passes made right before the checkered flag there, so keep an eye on that turn. But the keys, you know, keep smooth and keep that up against that wall out of turn 1 and set up for turn 2.
Here's a look now on board. This is John Fisher who now squeezes into a hole. Mason Prater uses that as a balancing act as Ebert now joins the fray. Keep in mind that Briley up in front of them is the biggest mover in the field, up 5. Here's a look at Swain. He's been able to recover back to 9th so far. Only a few laps in. Look at that cross, though, for Fisher to the inside of Ebert.
That Ebert's going to keep this outside line. You see Fisher's going to tuck him behind, but he's going to a little company. And you can see what happens. You get a little too high at first. You got to stay that middle line and slide it up. Otherwise, you get up in that marbles and the fluff. You lose traction. You get a lot of wheel spin up there.
More bumping and banging. Meanwhile, again, for 5th spot. Prater forced up high. Here comes the slide by Briley as he pushes away the 1. Everybody is becoming friends with everybody on the radio, we'll say. Here it comes the slide for Fisher as we look up front.
Yeah, you can see one of those guys that are, you know, when they slide out trying to fill that hole up so you can't get it by, you can see Prater impeded his flow there.
Now,
and you can see Ebert getting a lot of company there.
Very much so, to the point where Fisher was nearly on top of them.
Yes. Well, very common in desert racing. You're going to bump the guy from behind. Kind of frowned on in short course.
Here's Ebert. He's now taken the goggles off now. And it looks like he is full, straight-up focus, especially since Prater has apologized to the driver beside him for the past 3 laps. And here he goes, making it 3 wide off the corner.
And Ethan Ebert and Mason Prater got a little theme there with the Ebert shirts on, cut off sleeves, sun's out, guns out, showing that Arizona pride.
Owen Ebert now pushed off the track as it looks like Prater's actually put his own shirt on this time. Ebert's been pushed off the line meanwhile, by the way, and he is not happy either as Prater runs away.
You have that perfect middle line there, but back in front you see Connor Berry gapping just a little bit on Roy as we head up into turn number 2. Roy looks low, but Prater had that middle line off the ski jump. He's going to fly it.
Remember the points going that direction for prizes later on, should say. Connor Berry has the fastest lap. 35.1 is the fastest lap around so far in this feature. Right now he leads by about 7/10 over Roy. By the way, the bumper cars continue. For fifth on back, we look from Roy. Meanwhile, he avoids the bumper cars. Instead, he bumps the wall.
I think pretty much what I talked about, if you're not in that first 4 groups after qualifying coming into the main event, it's going to be rough there. You can see a lot of big drivers. I mean, even Mender getting pushed back there, Burke, having a lot of problems. I saw Hardesty's deeper in the field there. You can see, speaking of Hardesty, a little bit of contact there.
It looks like John Fisher's getting acquainted with Hardesty as well in the 99. Remember, Hardesty contact with Swain earlier. Swain has already passed these two, in fact. There is damage for Fisher to deal with the rest of this run. Starting to already approach that competition, end of lap 12, remember, for this one, as Plumley now tries to join the fray. This grouping is from 6th all the way back to as far as 12th, keep in mind, Dave. Very deep.
You see a driver trying to send it up the inside there, not able to do it, got on the binders and had a little contact with another vehicle there. That's not the way you're going to make it through the crowd there, but you can see Briley right up front. He's going to get a little bump here. Oh, looks like he's able to pull away.
There is Briley specifically now in that 6th position, trying to run away indeed with Swain at the moment. The next driver's up, Heitritter and Prater with a couple laps to the competition caution. Of note, Connor Berry just set another fastest lap of 35 flat this time. His pace is increasing. He's picked up 2/10 the past time around. He is running nearly a third of a second quicker over the past 5 laps on average compared to Felix Roy.
Well, I'll tell you, Connor has this track wired there for sure, but I know Felix Roy just ran this last night also. He's looking for the fast moves, but Berry, he just proved last night that he knows this track like the back of his hand, literally.
Now, Roy, keep in mind, has more so a background on the iRacing service with the iRacing World of Outlaws NOS Center Drink Sprint Car World Championship Series. The competitor in that series has made a couple features, has picked up some support from various groups in the campaign. It's keeping Berry company now, has actually closed the gap to half a second. This time around, competition caution coming the end of this lap. Repkin is also still within this grouping as well, though. Keep in mind, this could get fun after the competition caution with how this is setting up. 3 drivers looking very quick. Prater and Heitritter are 6 seconds back of this. Keep in mind.
Yeah, this top group has really pulled away from him. And I can see that the key has been so far is breaking a little later in some of these. For example, turn number 2 as well as turn 3 looking low. And it looked like somebody just got punched.
Swain. It's Keaton Swain for the competition. Caution was flipped upside down. Caution is out as they'll slow the field, but Keaton Swain may have just got saved by the wall.
Oh, definitely. The old Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down, landing back on his feet.
What can I say? For the walls, sometimes you don't want to hit it. Most times, in fact, 99 out of 100 times, in fact, on iRacing. Yeah. That time, Swain used it as a backstop, helping him get back upright. He ends up falling back to 10th. Competition caution here as they are trying to catch up to the iRacing pace car. Again, this is an official in-sim caution. It's called yellow. With that, let's take a look at some of the upcoming events. Podium Esports and across the iRacing world. The SimMax Cup Series, powered by MPI, heads to Homestead for what's expected fun night. It's the finale. The Championship 4 have been decided. Who will come away with the championship is all that's left on the table. 9:45 Eastern on January 23rd. Catch that on Podium Esports on the main Podium Twitch channel. Then Monday Night Racing continues its busy schedule. try and see who will battle for its championship. Because the trucks being brought to Iowa Speedway, great track with multi-groove racing is on the docket. January 24th, coverage starts 7 p.m., starting with Road to Glory, then at 8, Podium 2 for the Pro Series. S-Rock, then presented by Shenandoah Shine, heads to the legacy version of Texas Motor Speedway on the 26th. Watch some of the top drivers in all of eNASCAR history hit the racetrack once more with the old-style Generation 6 NASCAR stock cars. Once again, 9 p.m. on Podium Esports. And lastly, as talked about, iRacing short course competition heads to Crandon again, but it's the short version. Who will be able to win on the short layout of that track? Find out at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, January the 27th. Catch that on Podium 2. So time to on with the upcoming events as we are getting ready for the restart here, Dave. Interesting action so far. Barry Roy dropping the dominating driver so far, but the field's recompressed for the competition caution for the restart.
Well, Connor Berry has always been right on point with getting that restart there. Kind of curious to see if Keaton Swain's going to be able to recover from everything. But, you know, Connor, so quick, but Felix Roy, he's got another chance to try and outrun Connor into the first turn.
The iRacing pace car, keep in mind, is already pulling off the racetrack. It's time to get back to racing. 11 laps are up on the board. This is to close out the third round feature race. Green flag's back out, and Barry is gone by 3 truck lengths. He runs away from the pack. Roy holds on to second, single file the top 5. They're 3 wide for about 7th. Ebert and company nearly flipping as Swain is upside down. Swain is spinning. Swain is in the wall. The 21, who was strong in the points the first 2 rounds, has disaster in the third.
Well, I think Swain was driving a little bit frustrated there, but he got caught up in that situation with those other 3 trucks there. Bounced him, carried a little too much speed into that wall.
And unfortunately for Swain, it's been a nightmare night, and now Swain is pulling in for the fast repair. Rapkin, meanwhile, keeping up this time with Felix Roy off the jump, and so is the rest of the pack after their scrambling last time, and they're scrapping. Prater is keeping an eye on this battle close up. Heitritter, hardest to Ebert. Just about the entire field is keeping up. Roy has opened up the right side. Side by side for second. Rapkin drops back single file. Here's the look from Prater.
And he was looking for that outside-inside move. Prater's right back there watching it all unfold. You know, Prater's trying to figure out where are they going a little wide? Are they going too deep into the turn? Can I pass on the outside? Or will I go for an outside-inside move? Which you might see him set up here right after the ski jump. Looks like he's trying to get into position there.
Prater just looking for his spots here as he now moves up the track, trying to move underneath. Heitritter not able to make a move as well. The one machine. Connor Berry, by the way, with 8 laps to go this time, 1.5 seconds up, make it 1.6 seconds at the stripe. Look at that wheel movement Berry's having to put in here. You can see having to work at a fair bit amount on this track.
Well, definitely those little micro adjustments are everything, trying to keep that thing in a little bit of a slide, but you also got to keep that traction going there. And I think that's one of the things that you mentioned with Felix Roy doing so much of the World Outlaw stuff. I think he's used to sliding, because I know a lot of these drivers have trained with Corey Kruisman in real life, and I think that sliding on the dirt is key for a lot of these guys in short course. So I think that's a big advantage, even in the simulators, if you're driving a few of those dirt ovals.
Speaking of him, though, he's nearly getting bumped by Dropkid, and they'll say hello to lap traffic for the first time in this one. Keaton Swain moves up all the way to the outside and passes on by. Swain parks the bus. Dropkid now side by side with Prater as a result here. Prater get the job done? No. And holds on.
Well, I think I said, earlier, Prater's going to be setting up for that inside line. So Dropkin, he goes into turn 3. I know he's so concentrated on Roy right now, but he's going to have to protect that inside.
You see a very visually and looks like mouth moving, not happy move right now from Prater at the moment in this battle too. Keep in mind, Heitritter's keeping within distance as well. Behind them, Hardesty's been shoved, and Swain just about sent Fisher into the fence. What in the world just happened with the 21 from 5 truck lengths back? Just slammed the 68.
Well, I got to wonder if that's
And now
a little bit
swings
of
upside
redemption.
down.
Oh! And then he gets rolled. Yeah, I think that was, this is what's going to happen to you if you do this to me again. And obviously Swain is showing him it's possible.
Did I mention Swain was in the points lead entering tonight? Did I mention the last time someone got DQ'd from a race, it was a no-point round in the feature?
Well, that's not going to bode well for him. You can see him right there as he went a little wide there, trying to kind of block him a little bit.
And then,
I think Swain's also having some mechanical issues. That truck is not handling.
Yeah, no front end. Flipped upside down again with the 415 machine of Minder.
How about inside curve?
It's been not a pretty night. Trouble for the 17. The 17's just had an issue from 8th. Has just had to bounce off the wall as well. Trent Briley. It's behind the battle going on for second position. Briley had spun on his own, but for Prater, he's trying to move up one more spot here.
Well, that's what we forgot to mention there, that Prater did get by Drapkin there. And, like I said, he was looking for that inside move. He made it happen. Now he's going to try and work on Roy right now, and I think Roy's been leaving that inside line a few times on turn 2 and 3.
2.5 laps to go, coming to 2, and one more issue in the backdrop.
Outside, inside. Watch this. Mason's going to hit the bangers, go to the inside. Couldn't make it happen. Oh, Drapkin's right there. Going to be a drag race.
Hard battling for second. Prater with the cross. Can he complete it? He tries to clear himself. Forces Roy off the gas. Prater up to second. He weeble wobbles for the second spot.
Look at this. Roy trying to answer right back, but Mason had that outside fast line. Drapkin trying to get to the inside here for turn 2. He's going to try and push Roy a little wide there. They're going to lean on each other. Let's see what happens. Roy will have the inside line in turn 3.
Roy again, shoving Drapkin. Able to run away now. Prater, white flag coming out this time by Connor Berry, taking the white with a lead of more than 4 seconds. But the battle's on behind them for second on back. Who will get the final podium positions? As Drapkin tries to break on by Roy, Drapkin needs to close up 4 truck lengths. Roy wants to battle for second.
The amazing part is Connor Berry is just gone. We don't even see him going off the ski jump. He's already through turn number 4. He's going to be heading into now.
He'll come.
There it is.
Checkered this time by. Watch for the fist bump. Connor Berry, feature race winner for round 3 of iRacing Short Course National Series competition. Prater holds on to second. Roy and Drapkin rounds out the top 4. Heitritter recovers from a rough second round to a 5th place this time. What a night of action, to say the very least, Dave. Intense from the get-go, especially in that battle for the podium.
Well, I tell you, Wild Horse Pass never disappoints. Always fast, a lot of great racing, and I'll tell you, it is always physical.
Take a quick look at the results as Berry, Prater, and Roy do finish on the podium. 5.1 seconds Berry's advantage was tonight. Drapkin gets in 4th, with Heitritter in 5th, Ebert in 6th, Hardesty in 7th, Chalet, Sanders, and Minder round out the top 10. Minder, keep in mind, was having a big battle with Plumlee in the final few laps. Brady comes away with the 12th spot. Burke comes home in 13th tonight as Semino in 14th. Franks, Fisher round out the drivers who take the checkered. Swain did finish 1 lap down as well. We'll see where his official spot goes. Briley, after having a spin from the top 10, DNFs 3 laps down, 18th. Post-race coverage coming up just after this. You're watching Podium Esports for coverage of iRacing Short Course National Series competition from iRacing Virtual Wild Horse Pass Motorsports Park.
Hi everybody, it's Derek Perniciglio for Super Clean. And whether you work around the shop, the garage, or the home, spills are going to happen. And now, Super Clean introduces their new Super Clean floor absorbent into their new product line to make cleaning up spills faster and easier. This all-natural product comes in an easy-to-pour 3-pound shaker jug. Just shake out the amount you need over your spill, give it a few minutes to absorb, and then clean up in an instant. Unlike traditional clay products, this product is virtually dust-free and absorbs 4 times faster. Now, we break out our Super Clean cleaner and degreaser for a 1-2 punch to clean up the stain completely. You can pick up your own 3-pound shaker jug of all-natural Super Clean at AutoZone, and you can also check us out at superclean.com. Super Clean, super easy, super fast, super clean.
Welcome back to post-race coverage for iRacing Short Course National Series competition from the virtual state of Arizona. Thank the sponsors who are part of this event in this series: CPR Performance Products, AIM Sports Data, Super Clean, Sports World, Signature Propellers, Positive Beverage, and Smith Graphics. The series. For one driver tonight, it's been a dream 48 hours. A successful Wednesday leads to a successful Thursday. Connor Berry is your feature winner tonight. Connor, it was an intriguing one tonight behind you, but you made it look easy at the front.
Yeah, I definitely just had some fun out there. I had some awesome speed, and I was able to qualify first, and I did what I need to do. I got first in my heat, which had me first for the main event, and I was just focusing on my lines, trying to be smart, and I know that Felix Roy was fast, and he was for sure keeping me honest in those first couple laps. And I knew I would get faster towards the end. Is that what I have my truck set for? And it showed.
Yeah, I was going to say, one of the things that was directed over the radio, keep an eye on fuel tonight. How was that, trying to think about the fuel? Because Dave did mention that's been something that's popped up in the railroad in the past, while also trying to maintain the changes with the track. That's something one of our spotters noted, was the track really started to change a lot for the final 10 laps.
Yeah, for sure. Fuel for me isn't too big of a issue. I just run 12 gallons, and that's, I think, what everyone runs. So I don't think fuel is too big of a deal, but for sure track. That track was bad towards the end. I've never seen it so bad, and it definitely took a lot of just trying to be smooth on the throttle and on the wheel and apexing the turns, and I think I did all of that good.
How big has this week been for you, Connor? Because first, the success going on when it came to an event involving the Short Course World Cup. Then, success carries over tonight. How would you describe how this week's been?
This week has just been a week where I never thought that I would get. Last night, I was able to be the 2022 World Cup champ, and that was just something I've been trying so hard to get, and to finally get that was just so awesome. And then I go into tonight and do everything what I need to do. I got fastest qualifier. I got first in my heat and got first in the main, and I think I took back the points lead. So this week was just huge, and I want to keep it going.
By the way, Swain flipped upside down several times, tried to have payback with a truck, in turn got flipped over a 4th time, and finished at the very back of the field. So that's for reference how big this advantage is now going to go swinging that way. But the next race, Crandon short version. Your thoughts on that facility quickly?
For sure. I mean, that track is kind of like here, besides you won't see as much carnage. It's tight, it's small, but it for sure is more, there is more speed, and the turns are more like open, and it's not as hard to pass. So I think I'm feeling pretty confident there. Just got to carry my speed from this whole week into round 4, and just keep being smart and consistent.
Who do you want to thank for the run tonight?
I want to give a big thanks to Jim Beaver Esports. Me and Felix went 1-3, so that's cool to see. CBR, General Tire, Vision Wheel, and Next Level Racing. All of you guys for this stream, and all of my admins and staff.
Congratulations once again on the feature race victory tonight, Connor. Well deserved.
Thank you, guys.
Connor Berry comes away with the feature win tonight here at Wild Horse Pass. Meanwhile, second spot. It was definitely a wrestling match in 3/4 this evening, and at one point, the driver who finished second had a t-shirt change. But Mason Prater does get to second position on the board. He's with Dave.
Mason, what a great run for sure, but not the way you wanted to start out. You know, you looked a little frustrated back there on the pack, but watching you try to set up Drapkin, trying to move up to third, talk about that story.
I mean, it was a crazy race. Obviously not the start we wanted. We started 6th, we made up, I think, one or two spots right out of the gate. So we knew we were going to get a spot, and then kind of got a little bit bumped around. But I mean, you got to expect that here. So got bumped around a little bit, fell down to 7th, but obviously a little bit flustered. We just kind of calmed ourselves down, took a lap to ourselves, and then started picking them off one by one. I mean, we know it's a mental game, especially around here. People are going to battle, and when they battle, they lose a lot of time. So we kind of just put our head down, picked them off one by one, made good, clean moves that wouldn't have to come back and bite us, and we made moves when we knew that they wouldn't be able to get right back at us.
Well, this track is always really physical for sure, and turn number 2, always really interesting because it's so tight. You'll see 3 wide there. You'll get squeezed. I know you got leaned on quite a few times, and you had to kind of lean back in from 2 to 3.
Yeah, I mean, 2 and 3, that's the most vital part of the track. I mean, it starts in the entry of 1, and then it ends on the front straight. That's just like that 2 to 3 section range. So that's where you're going to make a majority of your passes, and that's where a lot of people get rowdy, and you just got to be ready to make a pass there and make it stick. So, I mean, a lot of those guys, they're leaning on each other, but I mean, that's a part of Pro 4 racing that makes it so interesting. You're not going to find NASCAR drivers or F1 drivers going out there and rubbing doors and leaning. But I mean, you come out here and we all have the driver skill to lean on each other and, make each other look good, like good drivers, and run clean side by side and not make any mistakes with it.
Well, speaking of good drivers, I mean, watching you with Drapkin, that was really interesting. But when it came to Felix Roy, it looked like it took you a couple of laps trying to set him up. Were you looking for that daylight, looking for him to make a mistake, or were you trying to force him into a mistake?
I mean, obviously, I'm just waiting for the right time, and I mean, both of them are just so talented. Like, I've raced with Zach and Felix for months now, and I know that they are very rarely going to make a mistake. So I was kind of just on their bumper, ready for when they did make a mistake, and if not, kind of just get them like a little bit more nervous, get them ready. And I mean, I pounced. I saw the tiniest little gap. I mean, that's the most you're going to get here, especially at this tight track. So I saw the tiniest little gap, and I went for it, and luckily enough, it paid off.
Oh, awesome job. I know it's we're still early in the season. You got a lot more to go. Anything you're going to do different, or are you pretty much going to stay with the game plan?
I mean, obviously, I got to find a few more tenths to catch Connor and Keaton, because those guys have just been out of this world fast. And I think I'm going to put in more practice with some fresh track, because, I mean, my qualifying hasn't been where it needs to be, and I think that's kind of what's dragging my game down. Like, I mean, I showed speed tonight, and I showed that I could run at the front and get around those guys, but, I mean, that last little tenth, and, I mean, if I'm starting at the front, the only place I can go from there is forward and run with those front guys like Connor and Keaton and be a little bit more competitive.
Well, I know one thing you got is a lot of people behind you, the sponsors that make this so possible, your whole racing career.
Yeah, I want to give a big shout out to my whole entire team, Elite Esports, Hunter Carpenter and Titus, and Zach Knowles made this paint on very short notice. He just got it like last night done, and so can't thank him enough. It turned out great. I'm stoked. Prater Racing, my parents, that's my real life team, and they do everything for me, so can't thank them enough. Toyo Tires, Ryan B Motorsports, Rugged, Lucas Oil, Dirt Sports World, Super Clean, CBR, AIM, again, all the help they do on this game and in real life. I mean, Luke Knupp, he supplied a setup for me tonight because I was kind of struggling with mine, and he provided a lot of help with that, so can't thank him enough for that. And everybody that comes out here works on this. I mean, everybody that's like just out here on the game, and I mean all the people that come out and race it and dedicate their time to this to keep this series up and running, and not to mention everybody else that comes in and watches and keeps this series going.
Congratulations on second place, and say hi to your mom and dad for me.
All right, we'll do. Thank you.
All right. Mason Prater.
Very happy Mason Prater indeed in second spot. Felix Roy came home in third this evening. One of his best runs, in fact, this season after a strong points haul coming into tonight. Fourth. Chance to gain even more so after this one. Felix, how are you feeling about how you ran in this one in that Jim Beaver Esports Blue Machine?
We're feeling good. It's my first podium with this league, so I'm pretty happy. Was pretty fun race. Battle a lot, and yeah, 2-3 wide was really fun.
How would you describe trying to battle with the differences between what you deal with in the iRacing World of Outlaws, NOS Energy Drink, Sprint Car World Championship Series, compared to the Pro 4 trucks that you've raced here tonight? Because you've been getting into a lot of these types of events recently, especially with this series, and increasing in speed with each round.
Yeah, it's different racing, of course. I mean, you can more Thor Indies and less in sprint cars, because as soon as you touch in sprint cars, it doesn't end well. But with those things, you can give a little doors, and it's pretty fun.
Now, in turn, strong start to the season brings the craziness on forward over to the short version of the Crandon course. It was described a little bit by Connor Berry to be similar to what we've seen tonight in terms of some of the feel, albeit less craziness. Your expectations to try and keep the momentum up for the fourth round of the season?
Yeah, it's definitely Crandon short going to be similar to this. Maybe a little less tight, I'd say. Probably the last corner is going to be tight. But yeah, it's Boulder short tracks. Boulder fun to run. I like short tracks, so I guess I'll try to do my best there. And yeah.
Anyone you want to give a shout out to after this one tonight?
Definitely a shout out to Connor, Josh Edmondson, and Cameron Peterson that handled me a pretty good set, so I can finish on the podium here tonight. Like to thanks to my sponsor from Quebec, Case Lodge Royale. Definitely my team, Jim Beaver Esport, and you for the good broadcast.
Thank you very much, Felix. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's Felix Roy rounding out your podium tonight. I'd like to thank him, Mason Prater, Connor Berry for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here. Entertaining Dave tonight, but in turn, it definitely set the tone how things fared out with the troubles for Swain, but the domination from Berry. The championship side of things could take a very intriguing turn, let's put it that way now, once things are settled in officially after what happened here tonight.
Well, definitely, Connor, was just spot on. He's been so consistent. But the surpriser, like you talked about, the points championship, Keaton Swain, pretty much this is a throwaway for him on this one. That's going to really hurt him in the points for sure. Other drivers are going to come up, but somebody's going to have to find an answer for Connor Berry. Mason Prater, so he's going to put his head down. I'm looking forward to seeing Felix Roy, how he does at the short course in Crandon. And, like they talked about, this one's a little bit tighter. I think Crandon short course is going to be a little bit more interesting on that, a little bit more wide open and a little bit tighter, but more places to pass.
And keep in mind, that is on January the 27th. You can catch that approximately 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, Crandon Short will be that respective circuit here for the iRacing Short Course National Series in that respective action. And overall, entertaining to say the very least. Your final thoughts on how this start of the season has fared out after 3 interesting rounds, but already a strong start, as mentioned with Berry.
Well, I mean, we've pretty much set the tone of the season, but a lot of time to go. A lot of things could happen. In racing, anything is possible as far as, contact you could take out. Connor could have a bad problem, get caught up with somebody, just like Keaton Swain did. Nobody's Teflon out there for sure.
And keep in mind, some air drivers had some solid runs. Height Ritter definitely picked up the tempo after his troubles technical-wise in round 2. You also have some air drivers showing the improvement. We talked about Roy. Minder also improved. Not just making the feature, but also finished with the top 10.
Yeah, and Drapkin also. I mean, seeing him run up there, he was in podium position. Fortunately, a couple guys got by him, but I think we'll be seeing him on the podium before, this is over.
And all of that is to be thought about. Time the next round of the campaign goes on forward. I'd like to give special thanks for everyone for tonight's coverage. Whether it's the sponsors, CBR Performance Products, AIM Sports Data, Super Clean, Dirt Sports World, Signature Propellers, Positive Beverage, Smith Graphics, or whether you're for Podium Esports. Ryan Bauer, James Pike, Cisco Scaramuza, Gary Sexton, and John Theodore at Podium Esports. Everyone behind the scenes at iRacing Short Course Series Action. For our camera builder, Dougie Beard, as well as Cameron Oberon, along with Nicholas Weatherby on social media. And for our producer, Ryan Bauer, my colleague, Dave Arnold. I'm Justin Prince. Thank you so much for watching tonight's action. We'll see you next time out. We go back to Crandon.
Where are my slippers?